Welcome in, everybody. We got another episode for you guys today. We are doing 20 through 11 on the Dynasty ball. I just had my first Dynasty league last year. He's never played Dynasty, so he don't
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, so
definitely better in his list, though, for sure.
Yeah, well, a guy that's never played doesn't know what the hell's going on. But so here's the deal. We're going to start us off with the 20.
Sleeper app.
Sleeper
So
app.
I don't know how
use
the
a sleeper
points move a lot. I don't know how they work, but this is going off a sleeper. So it's sleepers top 20, and then we'll tell you that, and then we'll go into
PPR is a Dynasty league.
Yep. We're gonna ignore that.
All right. But here we go. At the 20, who do you have?
At the 20, I have Golden.
Oh, fuck me. Come on, dude. For the Packers?
I got Golden.
Oh, Jesus, dude.
So
I'm running out of money.
They have him at the 33. Really, does he deserve to be at the 30?
So here, let me
Or
get
the
this
20,
straight.
I mean,
let me get
probably not.
Okay. You got him at the okay.
Got him at the 20. The only reason I have him at the 20, right, is because I truly believe he's worth more than they have him at 33. He could easily come in and be the number one receiver at the Packers.
Well, Christian Watson's garb.
Yeah, and then you have Reed, which they said, Reed's going to be the number one.
Right, but
They don't have a number.
They
one.
don't have a
They don't
number
have a
one.
number one in Green Bay.
No.
They really don't.
Josh Jacobs.
Literally, it's what it is. So it's.
But aren't you the guy in the offseason in
Golden's
Wisconsin?
faster. He's faster and he's bigger.
Sorry, I forgot he was going to run a 4.21, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's going to be the first guy in history.
He's faster.
Uh-huh.
He's faster and he's bigger than Reed. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know, but you're the guy in the offseason.
But this is Dynasty. Think he's 21 years old, dude.
I know he's got potential, but you don't have any faith and belief in Jordan Love. We go to work and you're always like, Jordan loves garb. Jordan loves garb.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree. So but Jordan Love is still, he plays for the Packers. Packers are going to do everything they can. I think they're possibly the best team in the North right now. The Lions are good. With the coach movement and all that, I just don't know how good the Lions are.
I can see the Packers winning the division.
That's what I'm saying.
For sure.
I think Golden, right? Again, we're not just talking this year. I think Golden
For the future.
I think Golden has a good chance two. I wouldn't be surprised he's the one this year.
So he's the type of guy that you're drafting and starting him and putting him in it's a guy that you draft and he's going on the taxi squad. And if nobody knows what the taxi squad is kind of where you draft. We got 4 spots in our league that's called the taxi squad. So it's only for rookies. So if you put the rookies in the taxi squad, you cannot play them for the season. But the thing is, if you can technically, so you pull them out of the taxi squad and you lose that spot. So you got 4 spots. Say he's put Matthew Golden in this taxi and he pulls Matthew Golden out, say week 4, because he's like, man, he's popping off. He's playing good. Takes him out week 4. Then he loses that spot, so now he's down to 3 spots. He cannot put another rookie into the taxi, but it regenerates after the following year. So then you restart with 4 taxis.
I wouldn't. So I think start the year off. I think you're putting Golden. On the bench right away.
Taxi. You're going straight bench.
I think he'd put him on the bench right away. And I think again, if he performs, which I truly think he's going to. I don't know if you're starting him the first year, but I really think that you're going to be starting him in years to come, because I don't see Reed being the number one. I don't think the Packers have a number one receiver on the team that played last year.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's not – I get your argument. Yeah. I could see it. I would probably consider him in the 20 maybe next year, but whatever works.
Yeah, I think you got to get him now. I think
he's the kind of guy you got to get on your team now.
I think he could play. I think he could play good enough that he's going to be worth a ton come trade value and stuff. That's you could use him as that also.
Okay, that works. At my 20, I got Zay Flowers. So
yeah,
He's only 24 years old.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
He had 1,059 yards last season. He had four touchdowns. A little light on the touchdowns, obviously, but like I said, he's 24 years old. In 2023, he had 108 targets. That went up in 24. He had 116 targets in 2024.
Played every game.
He played every game. And he's averaging 12.3 fantasy points per game.
I think
he's demanding 25% of the target share.
I think you're going to see maybe I
think it's going to be an increase because you got to think.
Yeah,
I think Mark Andrews is going out.
Yeah, Mark Andrews was going out last year, though.
Well,
I think
exactly,
I
but
do
he's
agree.
going out.
I think you're going to see. Well, so I do agree completely. I think Flowers is only up from here. I do think Hopkins is going to take a little bit from him,
I agree.
but I do also think
But
that
in the dynasty aspect, Hopkins ain't going to be sitting there
completely.
forever.
No, I agree completely. That's what I was going to say. I think Hopkins is going to be out, in two maybe years. Who knows what Hopkins is going to do? But I think, yeah, again, he plays every game. He played all 17 games last year at over 1,000 yards, and he only had less than he had 4 touchdowns. I think I got here.
Yeah, he had 4 touchdowns, which is
4 touchdowns.
But here's the thing: Mark Andrews had a couple skeeker lucky touchdowns.
Well, no, I believe I had Flowers in our redraft last year, and it just seemed like every game he was right there. I think he even dropped one maybe before the goal line, possibly last year. I don't remember, but I mean, it seemed like it was just he was a touchdown every 3 games away from just being
that dominant,
being good.
Yeah, being really that guy that you're like, yeah, he's the guy.
Yeah, I think Flowers.
I have him at the 20. So.
I think Flowers. I think that's a good 20. I don't mind that.
Sweet. Who do you got at the 19?
I got ESPN or not ESPN. Sleeper has Odunze. I do not have Odunze.
I have Odunze there.
I have Rashee Rice.
Okay.
I got Rashee Rice. Hurt last year, dealing with some legal issues.
They say that's not going to come into effect until 26. So that
he's 25, but when he plays,
he plays,
dude. He's good. I mean, the Chiefs. Look, I mean, that's right. The Chiefs played good, obviously, right?
You got to look at the upside, but Kelsey's.
Yeah,
he started 4.
Yeah,
and Kelsey's demanding. Well, last year he had a little down year, but the years before.
Yeah. But I think the entire team, right? Again, they played good,
right?
But Mahomes had a down year. It just they looked like the Chiefs. They just were kind of the worst, best Chiefs team in the last 10 years. So, for 8 years, whatever. I think Rice is a solid. Again, if he's playing, I think if he's playing, you start him. So I think you have to have him in the top.
You have to start him.
Right. So I think you have to start him if you got him.
I don't mind that. I don't mind where he's sitting at the 19.
Yeah. Now
I have him a little lower, honestly.
Next year, who knows? Whenever the legal stuff gets figured out, but I think even if he sits an entire year, again, he's 25. So if he misses 1 year of his next 8-year, 10-year career,
look at Tyreek at 27, 28, 29.
Yeah. Again,
Adams.
I think he's going to be fine.
Okay. So at my 19, obviously, I got Odunze. He had 734 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he's 22 years old. Yeah. I think he's going to be good. Obviously, they brought Ben Johnson on. They had a lot of issues with the offensive line protecting Caleb Williams. Part of me doesn't have a lot of faith in Caleb Williams, but also I see the offensive line getting a lot better with Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson is going to be looking at different moving pieces to move that line, to get that line strong, so then they don't have to worry. And, Caleb can open up. I think Odunze is that guy. He's 22, like I said. Keenan Allen is out of the mix. Granted, Keenan Allen wasn't Keenan Allen from the Chargers.
Yeah, he wasn't taking much from him. Right, I think Loveland is going to take as much from him as
Allen.
I don't think you're going to see a big.
I don't see you dip.
No, I don't think you're going to see a dip. I don't think you're going to see an up. Like I don't have Odunze on my top 20. He was close. Like I was going to put him at my 20, but I'm like I'm just going to grab Golden from back here and put him in there just because I think he deserves the top.
And everybody's obviously you're worried about obviously DJ Moore.
Yeah. Well, DJ Moore. I mean, DJ Moore ain't going to play forever, right? I mean, DJ Moore ain't old, but he's not young. And I just don't think DJ Moore is going to be on the Bears forever.
You don't think he'll stay there forever?
I don't think so. But who knows who the quarterback's going to be. So that's Odunze. I think the only reason I left him off is just the massive uncertainty of what's going to be the Bears are, what they are. Again, I don't know if he's got enough trade value right now that if they even wanted, if somebody needed a receiver, that they'd even go after him, right?
Okay.
So I don't hate it. I think he's right there. I think. So 18, Sleeper has Rice. Who do you got at 18?
Travis Hunter.
Damn. Yeah. Okay.
I like the Travis Hunter. College, he had 1,258 yards. He had 15 touchdowns. He's 22 years old. Obviously, you're seeing a lot of stuff. He's the second pick in the NFL draft this year. He had 79% catch rating in college. The guy doesn't drop many.
No, he's good.
And a lot of people don't. I've seen videos on the internet of him slipping this and that, but
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Anybody slips in a game. Everybody slips all the time. Like it's just how it goes. You can't just be like they don't ever show. They showed the clip of him being cornerback, but they're not showing the clips of how dominant he's probably actually is in training camp. You know what I mean?
Hunter,
he's a tough one.
I think you right. I think you have to draft him.
He's 22,
right? I think you have to draft him. I think you got to take him just because the possible upside.
But the amount of stuff that the Browns traded or the Jags traded to get Hunter.
Yeah. This is
the test.
This is Lawrence's last year. If he doesn't play, if Lawrence does not throw for 4,000 yards and get into the playoffs, Lawrence is.
Who's the back of Mac?
I want to say.
I don't know.
I don't. Doesn't matter who the backup is because I don't think they're any better than Lawrence probably. But I mean, I have Hunter on my list also, so I don't hate the pick. I don't hate him. You have him at 18.
I have him at the 18 there. Yeah. Who do you got sitting there?
I got Flowers. Kind of the same thing. I think there's a bunch of upside. Lamar's gonna be playing for a while. I think he's gonna be. I think Flowers is probably gonna be on the Ravens a while. I think, like I said, there's some tight end stuff. Like again, Andrews didn't take a bunch from him last year,
except the touchdowns.
Yes, yeah. Again, I think he's got more upside than downside because of the points for the touchdowns. I think he's gonna. If he plays all 17 games again, I mean, I think he's gonna put up 8. He's gonna probably double his touchdowns.
I think so too. And also, Andrews might be getting old. Obviously, we keep saying that and this and that. Andrews is still gonna be good, I think, as well. But every single team in the NFL has to worry about the double threat: Lamar and Derrick Henry.
Yeah, it definitely opens up downfield for sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, and Zay has that speed and a breakaway potential to make that target. So honestly, if I would not be opposed to taking him at the 18, obviously I got him at the 20, but wherever that draft falls, if he's sitting there, and what I think is gone, I'd take him.
Yeah. No, I agree.
With that upside,
So 17.
Who do you got?
ESP or Sleeper they have Higgins at the 17. I have McMillan. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his first name. The Panthers guy.
Tetero?
Yeah, sure. The guy that the Panthers drafted. I think. I don't know. I wasn't high on the kid, and then
but they say he's the Calvin.
I know they talked me into him. I watched a bunch of stuff on him. Everybody talked. I wasn't even gonna put him in my top 20.
Calvin.
I know.
Johnson.
I wasn't even gonna put him in my top 20. They talked me into him. I think Bryce Young looked. After they benched him last year for a couple games or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Bryce Young looked really good.
In which a lot of people were like, you're going to kill his confidence. You had all the guys. You're killing his confidence. He's not going to be the guy now.
He decided.
He stepped up.
Yeah, he decided to work harder. And it showed.
And Thielen's gone.
Yeah. I don't know if he's gone.
I thought he was gone.
He's either gone or – but Thielen wasn't what he was last year anyways. So I think you're going to see – him –
I thought he was gone, but maybe I just incorrect about that. But yeah, no.
Either way,
like the Tetero, I have him obviously. I have him at the 6. And sorry, Thielen is not gone. My bad. Tetero could be that one though. I don't know if Lee Gett's going to be that guy.
No, I don't. I think he played decent. Again, everybody talked me into him. I wasn't going to put him.
He's a beast.
And everybody, just watching film, seeing stuff on him, stats.
He's
good.
Okay.
So again, he's young, 22, right? So it's.
And you had him at the 17 there?
I got him at the 17.
Okay. Well, I had Rashee Rice at the 17.
Yeah.
Obviously, 25 years old, 2 touchdowns, whatever. He suffered that LCL tear in week 4. Obviously, the rumors about the legal stuff, whatnot. But he was 3rd in target share.
Yeah.
At 32% of this in the league. Obviously, he only played 4 games.
Yeah.
Right?
But he looked good.
Yeah.
Like, he's good. I mean, he doesn't look good. He is good.
And he averaged nearly 100 yards a game and 17.6 fantasy points per game. Yeah. And obviously, to me, he's the Chiefs' number 1 receiver. Obviously, everybody's like, Kelsey's number 1 guy. But when Rashee Rice is healthy, he's dominant. Okay? Yeah. He's going to be that guy, I think, on that team that takes it to the next level for the Chiefs.
You're going to die on my next one, I think.
But, yeah, I have him at the 17. Like I said, I got at the 16, Tetero, McMillan.
Yeah, and that's what Sleeper has.
That's what Sleeper has him. Sophomore year in college, he had 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns. In 2023 college year, he had 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns and massive production. He clearly he's going. Obviously, he decreased a little bit, but He runs a 4.48. He's 6'4", 220 pounds. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
I think he has in the position to be that number one of that team.
Yeah. For sure.
Obviously, Thielen's fallen out.
Yeah.
Wow. Adam Thielen still Adam Thielen. But
yeah,
he's going to learn some stuff from him. He's going to learn how to run the routes. He's going to learn how to be crisp. He's going to learn how to be smooth. Bryce Young has that upside. And
if Young looks like he did at the end of last year, I think he's got a decent shot at being. Yeah, I don't know if you're starting him. I think maybe you're starting him, but
I would start him.
Definitely. He's definitely probably a flex. He's probably a flex.
He's a start. He's a start on your team.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be the top two receivers you're putting in your receiver spot.
He wouldn't be my one.
But I think you definitely could put him in your flex.
I don't think he'd be my one. But yeah, who do you got at your 16?
At my 16, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh boy. Dude, you have absolutely.
I just
no faith in him. Is it the Kyler? Is it? Honestly, God,
I don't know.
You might be out to lunch because
his production was so hit or miss last year. I'm not drafting him.
I get it, but okay. So he had the struggles with the separation. He had the struggles with the contested catches.
Yeah.
He struggled with that. But I've seen videos. I've seen things, and I've heard press conferences. He's getting bigger. He looks bigger. He looks stronger.
Well, Eddie Lacy got bigger too.
Yeah, well, that's the difference. Eddie Lacy like cheeseburgers at a certain point, bourbon, drinking in whatever. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just don't know. I don't know how you could put Harrison above any of my top 15. I couldn't. There's no way. He had averaged 11 points last year,
but he was what was he? He was the 4th pick in the draft, dude.
That's fantastic.
Right? So you just think he's junk.
Yeah.
And you got him at the 16.
The 16. I have him at the 16. I don't know where Sleeper's got him. Sleeper has him at the 11, which is, again, he's young. He's young and he's big. There's the two things you got, but if you can't, you're not catching the football. Trey McBride literally was the Cardinals last year. It was Trey McBride, James Conner. That was the entire offense.
Yeah, James Conner's
and Trey McBride only had 1 or 2 touchdowns last year. Right?
Yeah.
You
just got no faith in Marvin Harrison. So I could pretty much guarantee walking the draft, get him in the 10th round if it's just me and you. Because you never draft him.
I wouldn't draft him. He would have to fall. Again, there's no way he's falling to where I think he's worth. There's no way he's falling that far. Which is fine. No, I don't even know where I draft him. But I would not. There's a 0% chance I draft Harrison. He's not. I'm not taking the first 2 receivers. There's no. He can't. I would not have him as my receiver 2. Granted, it's dynasty right, but I'd bench him Harrison. I'm not starting him.
Oh man,
I'd bench him.
Oh man.
I'm drafting. Yeah, no, I can't. There's no way. I just couldn't do it. Can't do it. I'm probably wrong.
But I think you're going to be wrong because that's some whack to be saying.
But everybody said it last year. I think
everybody. I know he had.
I think he was a 3rd or 4th round pick in the average draft last year. And
the thing is, the issue is the pressure. Obviously, he couldn't amount to that pressure yet. But
I just don't see it. Again, is he going to be good someday? Maybe.
I think he's going to be. But
at the rate he's playing, if he has 1 or 2 more years like this, he is going to work his way into a wide receiver 2 position on some team and never be anything. Okay, I get it. He's big. He's good.
Okay.
I don't see it.
All right.
Okay, so
15.
15, they have Brown. Sleeper does. AJ Brown. Who do you got at the 15?
T. Higgins. He's 26 years old.
Don't hate it.
He had 911 yards, 10 touchdowns last season. He averages, demanding 25% of that target share of that team. That's quarter.
Yeah.
I think that's good. That's really good. He's averaging 15.5 fantasy points per game, and he just signed that deal.
Yeah.
Money. I got a couple dollar bills in the pot, but money talks. When I work hard or something, that money changes who you are, and it's going to change. I think he's going to be dominant. Obviously, he missed 5 games last season.
Yeah,
5 games, dude, and he had 109 yards, and he had 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, and he was still in the top 20.
He's still in the top 20. Yeah. So here's the thing: he had missed 5 games. If he's healthy all 5 games or the whole entire season, and didn't miss those 5 games, 1,300 yards isn't out of the deck of the cards with Joe Burrow slinging the rock.
Yeah,
15 touchdowns isn't out of the deck of cards when he's
He's 20. Like I said, he's 26.
26.
He's 26, and I think he's a must start unless he gets hurt, like really hurt.
But there's that upside though too.
He's a must start for the
Jamar
next.
Chase gets hurt.
Yeah.
That upside is
He's an
phenomenal.
automatic must start for at least as the extent of his contract.
Of course, 100%.
Yeah, I think he's a no brainer. I think I think I wouldn't want to go him as my number one receiver. Like I would like somebody obviously above him.
But if you got like a Jency and somebody like
if
a
you want running back
Jency Bowers, I mean, and then you're sitting on the tee. I'm very, very happy.
Yeah. I think for Dynasty, I think he's definitely worth it.
Okay. Sure. Who do you got at the 15?
I have Travis Hunter. So kind of I'm so torn on Hunter. I'm not a massive Lawrence guy. I think Lawrence is good, but I don't think he's good. I don't know if he's
gonna be that.
He's good enough probably to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, but like he's on the edge where I think if one more bad year, especially with Hunter, with Brian Thomas Jr.,
that man's a monster.
I just don't know what's going to happen from there. And that's kind of I think, right, if they bring in somebody that's, I don't know, there's really nobody veteran-wise that's worth bringing in right now.
No, not on that team.
Right, so I think Hunter at 15, again, I was kind of all over the place. I kept moving him around. I wasn't sure if I want him higher, lower. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of hype behind him. I think the hype maybe has him a little higher than he should be. Like Sleeper got him 13. And you had him at?
I had him at the
like 17,
18.
So I think that's a fair spot. I think, again, I don't think
18.
I don't think I'm drafting him because I think somebody else is going to probably get him before I'm confident enough to take him, which is fine. Good for them. They can.
I think he's going to go.
Take the risk.
I think he's going to go earlier than we're expecting.
Completely. I think somebody else is going to grab him. Probably 2 rounds before I'm willing to grab him, and they can have him because I would be like, honestly, again, it's the 22 years old with a bunch of talent.
It's just hands like God.
When is he gonna be able to actually perform? Maybe it'll be year 1.
Maybe it will.
Maybe, but I think Lawrence has to play better in order for that to happen.
I mean,
because
Brian Thomas had it.
Yeah,
but he played better.
He played good.
Yeah,
he played really good. But the problem is Brian Thomas Jr. is on the same team.
That's true.
As Hunter. And I think there's going to be a lot.
Jamar Chase is on the same team as T. Higgins.
Yeah, but there's going to be a lot of corners, I think, that want to shut down Hunter just because of who he is, right? I think it's going to be a thing. Like, you're not going to want Hunter to put a 100-yard game on you just because of who he is, right? Obviously, you don't want that either way. I think there's going to be people playing even harder, chippy against him and stuff.
All right. 14.
So Sleeper has Garrett Wilson.
Okay. No. What do you got?
I have Garrett Wilson.
Okay.
And I think he probably
24.
He deserves to probably be, I would say he probably deserves to be in the top 10. If
Fields is that guy.
Fields plays good.
So your entire thing is on Fields.
I'm so worried about Fields.
Isn't it? And
I think Fields
Garrett
is
Wilson's
good.
talent.
I think Fields is good. I'm concerned that Fields is going to use. I think he's going to use his legs a bunch, which is good. I mean, I think the Jets are going to play okay, but I just don't know if Wilson's going to get his yards. I mean, Wilson had 1,100 yards last year. I don't know if he's going to get 1,100 yards. And he had 7 touchdowns. Maybe the 7 touchdowns is going to happen, but the 1,100 yards, I think with Fields as the quarterback is going to be hard to get to 1,000, I think. So I don't know. I think, again, I would like to have him higher, but
yeah, okay.
I think you have to again. I think he's a good guy to probably go get if Fields plays really good.
Mm-hmm.
You have possibly really good trade value, or I think
Fields will beat him,
but I don't see Fields doing like a Baker Mayfield coming out and just throwing for 4,000 yards.
Yeah, okay. You don't think he has it in his arsenal to throw for that many?
I think you're going to see Fields throw for. I'd be surprised if Fields throws for over 3,000 yards. I really would.
But you don't see it.
I just don't see it. Okay. And again, Garrett Wilson, could easily be a third of that, no problem.
Right.
But a little bit of uncertainty. I just don't know if I would take him over the guys that I have above him.
Okay. All right. At the 14, I got A.J. Brown. 1,079 yards last season, 7 touchdowns. 27. So he's on the upper end. but he's commanding 50% of the team's air yards.
Yeah.
He's getting 32% or 31% targets per route. That's 10% more than anybody on the team.
Yeah, I like AJ Brown, and I don't. You gotta just wonder. Like I said, he's getting so many passes to him.
I know, and this summer he does turn 28.
When is it gonna stop? Like, is he gonna, like, when are they actually gonna be throwing to other people? And Hurts played. He obviously played good last year, right? And they want to.
You're thinking when are they gonna start throwing to somebody else?
I just don't know.
You think
AJ Brown's really good?
He's really good,
really good. But Smith, I feel like, hasn't taken as much as he probably should be of his share, and I think.
You think he's due for a leap in this season?
Smith could come in and just take a chunk of stuff away from him, and I don't. I mean,
AJ's averaging 17 points per game in fantasy.
He had 833 yards last year. Smith did, and AJ Brown had
1,079.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess Smith played good. He played good. 68. He only had 68 catches. They said compared to
AJ Brown.
I mean, AJ Brown had 67, but he missed 4 games.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think
he's a good pick at the 14.
Yeah. I have him higher.
He's going to be 28.
So, yeah, no, I agree.
And that obviously in the Dynasty does scare you a little bit. But,
yeah.
Let's just say, who's to say next year AJ Brown just doesn't have a phenomenal year.
Yeah.
And then he's turning 29. The possible upside and trade value there is nuts.
Well, and that would be, I think, the thought on Brown is hold on to him for
if he can get some serious picks out of that. If he has a good season,
if he's got a couple good years, keep him till if you keep him to 29, 30, 2 years,
and then maybe he signs a 2-3 year deal.
Yeah, he signed another
and
contract.
He's still averaging 1,000 yards a game.
You can move him. You can move him for somebody younger, depending on your dynasty situation. If you're going to win again, if you don't feel like you got a team or win, or if you feel like you need to
restructure,
kind of restructure. I mean, I think Brown, is a good pick. I really do.
Okay.
I really, really do.
13. Who are we looking at?
13. So sleeper has Hunter. I have Higgins.
T.
I have T.
Okay.
I love T. Like I said, same argument right as earlier. I think T's going to play good. I think as long as he can stay healthy, which he struggled with last year.
Yeah.
But as long as he can stay healthy, I think T's probably he could be your number one receiver on your team. I mean, unless you have Jamar Chase.
He's 26, but
right?
yeah.
I think he could be right. I think he's got probably 8 good years left in him, 6 to 8 good years left in him.
Yeah. And then they got Joe Burrow slinging it, so if he could stay, you got 4 for sure.
The thing is in 4 years, I want to say Jamar and T both signed 4-year contracts. I'd have to look at Jamar's contract, but if
you say they signed another deal,
well, they just signed a deal last year, right?
Right.
So if when it comes to time, is one of them going to be cheaper than the other? Like, is the Bengals going to decide in 4 years? Right. Again, we're thinking down the road, but this is Dynasty.
Right.
Is which one's going to go? Is Jamar going to go? Is T going to go?
Right.
Can you afford both of them again? I just don't know if you can afford both of them again.
And by then they might have to pay Burrow again.
Yeah. Again, I just don't. I think this is all the eggs in the basket. We're going to put up 40 points a game. Burrow's going to throw for 5,000 yards. It's going to be.
He's going to have 1,400 yards.
It's going to be Peyton Manning on the Broncos. We're just going to put all our eggs in the basket and hope we can win the Super Bowl. And I think that's what the next 3-4 years is.
And they do have that shot. I think last season, if they would have won that game, I think they were going to win it all.
They started so slow.
I know, but
they started so.
My goodness, I kept saying if they win this game, they're going to win it all.
Losing games by a touchdown.
I know, because that defense failed them.
Again, and they literally are like, we're going to try to put up another 10 points this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not going to fix the defense really. We're just going to put up another 10 points. And that's fine. I have no problem with that. Again, for a fantasy standpoint, I have really no problem with that. Because I think
I'm a big T. I like T Higgins at that spot.
Yeah, I think T is
13.
If T could be a number one scorer on your wide receiver, and he's only 26.
Okay.
I wanted to put him higher, but I just couldn't over some of these guys.
Just
solely because of age.
I T at the 15, and at my 13, I have Marvin Harrison Jr.
Dude, you're so dumb. You're so dumb. Dude.
You have no faith in the guy.
I don't.
He was the fourth pick in the 2024 NFL draft. He's 22 years old. He had 855 yards. 885 yards. He had 8 touchdowns. See, here's the deal. You keep
Okay, so if Hunter has a year like he had last year, you're taking Hunter.
Hunter.
You're taking Hunter at the what do you have him at?
Travis Hunter?
No. What do you have for Harrison right now? What are we talking?
If he had what he did last year, where am I taking him in the draft? I mean,
do you expect Hunter to do better or worse than Harrison?
Travis Hunter.
That Harrison last year, like Harrison's numbers last year.
Do I have Travis Hunter expected
Harrison,
to do the same as what Marvin Harrison did last year?
So Harrison had 885 yards. Okay, 8 touchdowns. Do you think Hunter's going to do better or worse than that this year?
Honestly, I think
62 catches.
I don't think so. I think Hunter is going to sit right in that. I don't see Hunter taking that 1,000 yard this year. I don't see it happening. I don't know if he's going to do the 15 touchdowns like he did in his college year. I think Marvin Harrison he's 22. I think he's going to be dominant. You will not understand that he is going to be dominant, and that's fine. You
got Marvin, but that's your whole.
And I'm cool with sitting.
He's the fourth pick. He's the fourth. Hunter was the 2, and you got Harrison over Hunter.
I do
by a lot
because Harrison knows what it's like already. Obviously,
he's right. He does know what
he struggled with the separation.
Bad.
He struggled with the separation. He struggled with the contested catches. I get that. But in college, he dominated in the separation, and he dominated in the contested catches.
Tim Tebow dominated in college, too.
Tim Tebow won.
Eddie Lacy dominated in college until he got fat in the NFL. Right? I just
don't see it happening. But I don't know. I think Kyler Murray is that guy for Marvin Harrison. I think he will throw a lot of passes.
You'll draft Marvin. I'll wait 3 rounds, and then I'll draft Golden.
That is just outlandish.
Golden in 3 years is going to be better than Harrison.
Okay. Well, I think
I got Harrison above Golden just because but I think Golden's going to be better than Harrison.
Okay. Well, I like Harrison. Because
again, I'm not a love guy. I'm not a massive love guy, but they throw the ball a lot. And Josh Jacobs has helped open up some deeper. Again, Golden is faster and bigger, taller. I haven't looked at the weight, but he's taller than Reed. So
yeah, but that doesn't affect me when it comes to Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay,
you're right. I genuinely think he just played bad, and we're just okay with it.
But let's be honest, he 885 yards and 8 touchdowns isn't bad for a rookie. Your issue is he's been in the league for 10 years, and he's only putting up 885 yards and 8 touchdowns.
Look at these guys.
He's a rookie, damn it.
You look at these guys. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. I mean, London's 23 years old,
but
London played like a dog.
Yeah, but in year 2, the year 2 breakout is on statistic average higher for most top receivers.
Led McConkey was a rookie last year.
Yeah, okay, and
Herbert. I'd have to look at this. Herbert did not. I mean, Herbert played good. He didn't throw interceptions. That was all Herbert did. He just didn't throw interceptions. He was consistent.
Herbert's a gunslinger, and Kyler.
But I don't know. I'm looking it up. I don't know. Let's look up Kyler's yards.
Now, how many yards do you have? Because I think Marvin Harrison is going to be that guy. He obviously they got McBride. I don't know what you're
taking. He threw for 3,800 yards. 3,800 yards he threw for. Marvin only caught 885 yards.
I think he'll be a dominant guy.
Let's look at Justin Herbert's yards. Do you have any guesses? Because I guarantee
41.
3,800 yards.
Okay.
So Lad McConkey, right? Oh, he's a first-year guy. 300, almost 300 more yards.
Okay.
Average with over 3.5 points higher. 3.5 points higher.
They got Marvin at the 11.
I don't care where they have Marvin. I don't care where they have Marvin because
you're just not drafting him
because you're wrong.
I love it. I love that you hate him, and
I don't hate him.
I'm
just not drafting him because
it's fine. And when your dynasty is rebuilding after year 1 because your draft stunk, that's on you.
My draft. I'm not worried about my draft.
I would be.
I'm not worried.
All right, at the 12, who are you looking like?
I got AJ Brown at the 12. I think he would be higher if he wasn't 27 years old. Devontae Smith has been playing okay. The thing with Devontae Smith is he's not a yards after catch kind of guy.
Like AJ Brown is.
He gets down. He's gonna have probably a decent career because of it. But for fantasy, I want that guy to try to get in the end zone. I want to do that. So I think AJ Brown, again, 16.7 points per game last year. He's 27, so going to be 28 over the summer. I think I think AJ Brown is
I
good.
think he falls in that window.
I think he's good. I think he's
averaging 17 fantasy points per game, so I think he falls in that window.
One, I don't think you hate it. Again, I think you're probably safe for the next 5 years.
My thing is, if I'm taking AJ Brown, I am looking like my team is going for the chip right off the rip.
Yeah, but
because
I think
your longevity, I don't know.
I mean, I think AJ Brown is young enough, right? So he's the oldest guy I have on my list in the top 20.
Mm-hmm. But you can't let age. You got to have that balance between both.
Yeah, but the thing is, right? It's the age.
He's not that old.
It's receivers are hard.
Right?
You get to you're probably talking 4 or 5 years prime. But I mean, you have receivers that are 33, 34, getting it done still. So it's
right.
I think he's a guy you're going to keep on your team. Again, if you can hold on to him, if you can hold on to him for a couple years,
hope for that potential trade value.
29, he's still young-ish.
Right.
He's like middle.
But he's that guy you're holding on at 29, 30, 31, even longer. That you're shooting for the chip.
Yeah. Well, if you have again, if you're struggling tight end wise, struggling running back wise, struggling quarterback wise, you got anybody but Marvin Harrison on your bench to play because Marvin Harrison sucks. If you have anybody but him on your bench, then you could trade him away for a running back, or for picks for your rookie draft for the next year, whatever it is. I think it all matters what your rookie draft's looking like, right? Who's coming out. But yeah, I think AJ Brown, 12 seems decent for me.
All right. At my 12, I got Garrett Wilson.
So I have a
he had 1,104 yards, 7 touchdowns at age 24. There is not a single person on that Jets team that is a threat to Garrett Wilson's targets, demanding targets. They got Allen Lazard and Josh Reynolds. Okay.
No.
Non-existent is what it is.
I agree completely.
And, you can say all you want with Justin Fields. If Justin Fields throws for 3,000 yards, you can almost guarantee 1,200 to 1,300 to even 1,500 yards are going to Garrett Wilson. You know?
I mean, I'm not
because Allen Lazard's not him. Josh Reynolds is not him. And the thing is, what you want in a dynasty is a young player, obviously, and the fact that he hasn't missed a game in the NFL is just outstanding. I want that. I don't want to be in week 10 and I'm sitting here dominating all season long, and my goodness, my guy's out 5 weeks.
No.
And just miss playoffs, miss the chip. Yeah. Garrett Wilson's going to be that guy that he's going to pull you through into the playoffs. So I think Garrett Wilson at the 12 is a solid pick. I think
I don't hate it.
Okay.
I think it's, like I said, I have him at 14. I think it's a little. It's just. I think it just the unknown of the future, right? I mean, he's going to play good for whoever he plays for, whoever his quarterback is, and this and that. But you'd hate to see Fields flop, and then all of a sudden there's a rookie quarterback comes in, and then you're dealing with all that, and you're growing pains and this and that. I think the slight risk of him not being a starter.
True.
Wilson, like on your fantasy team. Like, I think just the slight risk of him, if he's averaging 10, 11 points a game, it's like, man.
Good. But you got to think. You're afraid that Fields is bad. They got Tyrod Taylor.
Well, you're not wrong. Tyler Taylor isn't a terrible quarterback, right? He's not terrible. There's a reason he's still around.
He's still around and not relevant, but
still around. People know who he is. Yeah. He's relevant enough that if you say the name, you'll know. Average people know who he is.
But yeah, I like that. Who do you got at the 11?
I have Njigba.
Yep, same here.
Really? So yeah, I just think there's the Darnold is sketchy, but it's just I don't think Cooper Kupp isn't going to take
not
away
be a threat like DK.
What DK was.
He went up. Statistically, he went up 80% in yardage from 2023. 80% is what he went up.
Yeah, because he was a pretty. I'm not going to say a flop his rookie year, but everybody was like, "What? Yeah. We've expected more out of this guy."
Yeah.
So, right, kind of like Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah,
but he's not going to pick up 80% this year.
But I mean, he did have 8.8 fantasy points per game. So you're like, But I don't see I think Darnold's going to be fine. I think Darnold can throw for 3,500 yards.
Yeah. They see I think threw for a bunch last year.
Right. And I think he's good enough to throw for that 35 to 4,000 yards. And I think that's going to be a good spot for Njigba to eat up most of that target.
Yeah. I think Njigba's like I said, I think he's solid.
They got Noah Fant at the tight end.
Njigba, like I said, I think he's a little scary. Again, he's young.
Right. 23.
Still scared to be your your guy. That was loud as fuck.
Oh, that's a double bill, dude. So that I didn't know that was a swear word. I got to put $1 in too because I said it earlier in the episode.
Well, it's not really a swear word. You told me to put $1 in, so I'll put $1.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so no, I think obviously we're not going to argue against each other because we both agree. So I think Njigba's a solid guy, and I think I think that's
that 20 through 11
going to be a good way to round out 20 through 11, and now to argue about the top 10 here in the next episode.
Yep, we'll get back to you guys in the next episode. All right.
Thank you for listening to the Night Shifters podcast. If you enjoyed, please give us a like, and we will see you in the next episode.